Alright, so we are rolling. So hopefully this turns out to be alright. I don't know why I have headphones in, but I'm about to take them out. You kind of see, I guess I'll have to crop that up a little bit because you can kind of see my midsection. That's what happens when you have a wide lens. So I am on the way to, I guess, the supercharger station. Oh, you gotta be kidding me, really? Sorry about that. Alright, so it's a little shake. I'll try to fix that in post. This is a series that I want to start doing. So we'll call this, I guess it'll be like a vlog. So we'll call this travel, I guess. Let's see. Just make sure that stays still. Alright, let me see. Might have to tighten that up a little bit. Alright, so this is going to be the first of a series that I want to start doing, like a vlog, because I typically travel quite a bit, and you know, I can take you in with me on those travels, and take this opportunity to just kind of dialogue about certain stuff that I'm always kind of like thinking about. Let's call this, we'll call this series, we'll call this vlog series, Ride With Me, and then this would be episode one of the Ride With Me series. So the camera might move every now and then because I don't have it tight right now on this swivel. So I'll tighten that up whenever I stop. So let's see. So I'll tighten that up whenever I stop, so it won't move around so much. And so that's what we'll do. We'll do that then. Okay. So typically whenever I'm riding, I'm constantly always thinking. I'm constantly always thinking about, you know, the state that everything is in this world, and you know, being able to point out and pick up who might be the so-called Sons of Perdition, because that is one of the major things that we actually supposed to be figuring out, is who are the Sons of Perdition. And you don't really hear a lot of so-called leaders of thought bringing up that conversation. Typically what they're doing is talking about how you can get more material, you know, how you can achieve in finances, you know, how you can achieve in relationships and so forth. But according to the prophecies, we're supposed to be identifying the Sons of Perdition, and we should be working together to try and reveal them. And it doesn't seem like we're actually doing that today. So maybe I could utilize these little Ride With Me series as a way of just kind of talking about certain things like this. So Sons of Perdition, if you look at the research and you look at all the information that exists, it appears that the Sons of Perdition are those who are against forms of righteousness, forms of unity of that which is divine. And we have a group, and I call them the Civilization of Deception, and you'll notice that what they do is they have a collective consciousness which is in direct opposition of that which is divine. All of the senses that kind of tie you to the animal version of yourself is kind of what these particular this collective consciousness focuses on. So if you'll notice all the stuff that they promote, like the billboards that you see, how it's always promoting uncleanliness in terms of what you eat. So you'll see like crab, lobster, shrimp advertisements, pork, which is swine, which is a filthy animal. And these things are basically were set up as garbage disposal systems on the earth. That's what they were. They were garbage disposal systems. And then what they end up doing is creating systems, and they identify themselves as plumbers, right? So they promote the filth, and then they want to create the solution to the problem that they're creating because it produces profits. And these guys typically identify themselves as plumbers, and because there's so much filth and so much trash that's out here, primarily because the same ones are actually producing it. So they provide the problem and the cure, if you get what I'm saying. And if you ask me, 1 pound of prevention is worth way more than 1,000 pounds of cure. So if we focus more on how do we prevent these entities by pulling the plug from them, because they are operating and we're giving them the power to operate and to exist, and all we have to do is just decide not to do that anymore. If you get what I'm saying, let's just decide to pull the plug on all of this stuff that they promote. So like, for example, I have a video where I was talking about like some new ideas in the sense of dietary, because like I was saying, when you look at these billboards and you see that all the stuff that they promote on these billboards are really suggesting an unclean way of doing stuff. So what if we tried, looking at the greatest, one of the most ancient sources that we have that is widely known, everybody has access to it, and it's the book that's called the Bible. And I mentioned this, and I was just basically saying, if we jump to the book that we have been taught to call Leviticus, inside of that book, it goes over a set of instructions on what we should eat, what is considered clean and what is considered unclean, right? So that's a way, because if you think about it, say there's a seed that sits underneath your gastro tract system, like your intestine system, right? And in some mystery systems, they call this the root chakra, right? So what if there's something that's down there, and in order for it to rise, like say you have to go through different stages from within yourself, and in order for it to rise, it has to pass through the intestines. So if what's in the intestines is trash, then that seed can't rise. And that is, to me, the best hypothesis I have on why this civilization of deception promotes unclean eating so much. And it has to do with that bottom chakra, and in some mystery systems they say it's red. So if it's red, then that's synonymous with what they call hell, right? So when they say you die and go to hell, if you don't do what is right, then basically what you're doing is you're remaining in that lower self, and you're remaining in the animal world. And that's the reason why they focus on those things that taste good, smell good, and all that kind of stuff, because an animal doesn't care about if something is clean or unclean. All they care about is can you give me something again, type thing. So if you threw like something down on the floor for a dog, the dog is just, in most cases, just going to eat it. It's not going to really care about the ingredients. It's not going to really care if its intestines are designed to actually consume that kind of food. It's just going to eat it. So the systems of this world have conditioned you to be like a dog. That's the reason why you see dogs everywhere, because they're showing you that you're in the lower, you're in your lower self. You're operating under inside of the the lower parts of the systems there. So in my videos, I try to figure out how to get everyone to rise above the animal level, because what I find interesting is, like, for example, in the land that people call Egypt, you'll notice that there's a sphinx there, and you'll notice that there has a head that's sitting above, and then it has the animal version that's laying down. So what we have to learn to do is put to rest the animal nature. Do you get what I'm saying? So if you put the rest of animal nature, right, then you can start focusing on that which is divine, which is the higher self. And then once you start operating in that arena, then you'll notice that you'll notice that stuff in your outside will change, because it says the kingdom is inside of you and it is on the outside of you. And it says he who knows himself will know that he is the son of the living Father. But if you do not know yourself, right, then you dwell in poverty, and it is you who are that poverty. So where are you dwelling? You're dwelling in the lower self. You're dwelling in the animal realm, if you get what I'm saying. Now, you do have those that are walking around that are showing the height of their evolution, and there are animals in the so-called because they have arms, legs, arm, head, and everything, but they have the appearance of an animal if you look at it very, very closely. But that's the highest form of their evolution. So what we need to realize is that there has to be a separation today. Everybody is talking about being a goat. You know what I'm saying? But in the sacred text, it points out that you're trying to put the goats on the left and you're trying to put the sheep on the right. So why is this culture, this social system, pushing everybody to be a goat today? Think about that. So they are really saying, if I can't make it, you are not going to be able to make it. And in this system, which is set up for learning, it's very important that you rise above those who cannot rise at all, because we have those who cannot rise who are making the decisions today for you, and you are allowing them to make the decisions because you have bought into the fictitious system that they've created, and you've allowed them to have the power to define over your existence. And that's where the problems come in, and that's the reason why we need to do what is possible, of course, to suppress that. You see what I'm saying? Because they want to do everything they possibly can to invoke fear and so forth, and to get you knocked off of your path so they can have power. But the only power that they have is the power that you give them, if you get what I'm saying, because they actually have no power. You know, you are actually giving them the power, right? So we want to look at that, and we want to kind of make better decisions when it comes to our thoughts, because that's where the war is. The war is happening up here in your mind today. You get what I'm saying? It's not this physical war. That's part of the illusion, and that helps them with the fear aspect, but it's all about who has control over what is going on up here in your head, if you get what I'm saying. So we want to make sure that we remove the cockroaches from up there, and we want to make sure that we don't have stinking thinking and everything like that, walking around looking doodle face and all that kind of stuff, because you can actually change just by changing your mind, if you get what I'm saying. So, you know, this is just, I don't know, I'm just kind of talking right now, but at the same time, I wanted to have this conversation with you so you can kind of just get an idea of where I want to go with this series. But maybe I'll open it up and I'll start doing like chats and stuff, to where we can make it to where you feel like you're actually riding with me whenever I'm traveling and going from here to there and so forth. You don't want to be a driver, you want to be a traveler, if you get what I'm saying. So because no one has the right to tell you where you can and cannot go, and if you actually can go there. So some of you have a divine right to travel, and you have been allowing these other entities to tell you what you can and cannot do. And we want to kind of stop that. We got to stop buying into this fictitious system that they have set up and have created, because it is cancerous, and the cancer has to be removed. And we have to be able to identify who these sons of perdition are, and we can identify them by looking at what they practice. You see what I'm saying? But first you have to know the difference between what is right and what is wrong. So if you don't know what is right, how are you going to be able to how are you going to be able to differentiate from what people are telling you? And in the ancient text, it says people are wise to do evil. They're wise to do evil, right? But to do good, they have no knowledge. You get what I'm saying? Like, for example, in the garden, they were naked, right? But they weren't ashamed when they were naked. You see what I'm saying? So today, like if we look at how people are dressing, we look at our women today, we see how they dress. They are basically naked, and you're trying to come to them and tell them that what they're doing is wrong, but they can't see it. They can't perceive it because they don't have eyes to see the evil. Do you get what I'm saying? So then you have information that comes out where it's like, look, hey, eat of this information, right? And then you will become as gods, knowing good and evil. So basically you just have to be willing to eat the information that is good, so you will be able to know the difference between what is good and what is evil. And people today are just wise to do evil, right? But to do good, they have no knowledge. And that's kind of what we're dealing with. We got to take it back to the Genesis, and then we'll be able to kind of figure this thing out and so forth. But it's very important to know the difference between the two, so you can be able to make better decisions for yourself, because someone is out here telling you that what you're doing is good. They're telling you that a man being with a man is good. They're telling you these things, you know. So you know, and in the text it says a man should not lay down with a man the way that a man lays down with a woman. But in this social system, they are saying that it is good. So that means that you need to eat of a certain type of fruit so you will have the knowledge of good and evil. It's real simple. It's not that hard to understand. But I just wanted to have that conversation with you. I'm going to keep this one short, so we're going to call this episode 1. Give me your feedback. Let me know if you like these type of videos, and I'll keep doing them. And, you know, I'm just going to go ahead and end it here. I'll see you in the next video. All right, thanks.